Hello everyone, my name is Jamin. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. In this video, I have an HP 15t-dy200 laptop. I'm going to take you on a teardown or disassembly tour, show you how to get inside, and access and upgrade many of your internal components. So first thing, power down your computer, make sure it's off and unplugged from your charger. We're then going to flip your computer over to access the bottom case screws. Now there is a long rubber foot on the top of my screen and the bottom of my screen shown by the blue arrows. You're going to have to take those up to access 3 screws under each one. To get those up, you're going to use a small, very flat pry tool. They're only held on by double-sided tape, so you will be able to carefully, slowly pry them up. If you go too fast or bend it too much, it is possible to break them since they're just rubber. If you do break them, you have the option of buying a new one to replace it, or you could just use it broken. If you split it in half, you still have to put down the whole thing with double-sided tape, so you can just put it down broken and it should still work fine. After you get all of your screws up, if you flip the computer over and look at your keyboard or your palm rest area, you'll see a seam in the computer at the edge of your palm rest and your bottom case. That's where you're going to use a small flat pry tool to slowly pry up the palm rest from the bottom case. You're going to go all the way around nice and slow. Don't put the pry tool too far in. You could damage some internal components. Just keep it on the edge and pry up that palm rest from the bottom case. Once you do, this is what you're looking at for the inside of your computer. Now, as a general computer repair side note, guys, when I'm working on a computer in my shop, it's sitting on an anti-static mat. Either that or an anti-static bracelet are great ideas to avoid damaging anything in your computer when you're working on it. If you would like any help with tools or supplies for your computer project, as well as any upgrade and replacement parts for this specific model computer, I will have a link above, also below in the description, and it will be a list of all those tools and supplies and replacement parts. Now, before touching anything in a computer, it's always smart to remove or at least unplug your battery. Computers are safer to work on when as little power as possible is running through them. This is your battery right down here near the bottom of my screen. The replacement model number for this battery is HT03XL. I will have that information below in the description for your reference, but I will have a replacement battery and charger option for you below in that list I told you about with all the tools and supplies and replacement parts. The battery is held down by 7 screws noted by the red arrows, and it plugs into the motherboard near the blue arrow. After removing all the screws and lifting the battery up, that will unplug it from the motherboard. As a side note, if you are here because your computer is not turning on, your battery could be bad, you may need to replace it, but keep in mind that most laptops should still turn on and work even with a bad battery as long as they're plugged into a working charger. So if your computer is not turning on, there may be something else wrong with it other than just a bad battery. If you want help troubleshooting that, I will have a video tutorial link above, also below in the description, and that will be the full troubleshooting process I use in my shop to find out why a laptop's not turning on and how to fix it. Also, keep in mind that it's best to keep your computer plugged into a healthy surge protector instead of just plugged into the wall. Again, I will have a battery, charger, and surge protector option for you in that list of all those replacement parts. Your RAM is right here near the top left of my screen. This computer takes DDR4 RAM at 2666 megahertz. I will have all the RAM specification information below in the description for your reference, but I will include several replacement and upgrade options for you in that list I told you about with all of the tools, supplies, and replacement parts for this computer. Now, this computer's manual says that the max RAM is 16 gigabytes. However, the CPU that's used in this computer could be able to go as high as 64 gigabytes. So in that list, I will have an 8 gigabyte stick. If one of these goes bad and you want to replace it for the lowest cost possible, I will also have a 16 gigabyte kit in case for some reason both go bad and you need to replace both, again, at the lowest cost possible. However, I will also have a 32 gigabyte kit as an upgrade and a 64 gigabyte kit as an upgrade for those of you that want to try upgrading a little higher. The way to operate these 2 RAM sticks, you see there's a spring-loaded arm on either side near the blue arrows. The way to get the RAM stick out is you would gently pry those arms apart from each other, away from the RAM stick. The stick will then release. Oftentimes it'll pop up a little bit, and then you can take it out of this port right here. To get the RAM back in, as you can see, there's a long section to the stick and a short section. So you can only put the RAM in one way. You can't put it in upside down. After you put it into the port, make sure it's nice and even and flush. Make sure this gold section is nice and even across the entire length of that port. When it is, you can press down in the middle of the RAM stick. The metal arms will then latch onto it and hold it in place. This computer has a single storage port right here. It's an M.2 PCIe NVMe port, Gen 3 solid-state drives. I will have all that information below in the description for your reference, but I will also have several replacement and upgrade options for you in that list I told you about, with all of the tools, supplies, and replacement parts for this computer. I will have in that list a 500 gigabyte solid-state drive if you're looking to just replace a bad one maybe and keep the cost as low as possible, but I will also have a 1 terabyte and 2 terabyte upgrade option for you. The way to work this solid-state drive, there's a single screw right here on the right-hand side of it. Once you remove that screw, you can easily pull it out of this port right here. As another side note, if you are installing a new drive to your computer, you may need to install an operating system onto it afterwards. I will have a video tutorial link below in the description. Also above in the video, it will show you how to install Windows 10 onto an HP laptop. And if the drive you're replacing has gone bad and it may have some data on it you want to recover, keep in mind that it's usually possible to recover data even from bad drives. I will have more information about that below in the description as well. Your Wi-Fi card is right over here to the top left of my screen. It's held in by a single screw there. Once you take that out, you can slide the Wi-Fi card out of that port right there. Now, this Wi-Fi card was an Intel model AX201NGW. I will have all the Wi-Fi card specs below in the description for your reference, but I will also have a Wi-Fi card replacement option in that list I told you about, with all of the tools, supplies, and replacement parts for this model computer. After unscrewing it, all that's left are 2 antenna wire. You may need to remove this clear guard above it to gain access to the screw and the antenna wire, although some of you may not have that. These antenna wire are just snaps, so they just pull directly up and off of the Wi-Fi card to unplug them. However, they do need to be at a perfect 90-degree angle to snap back on, and you are strong enough to damage them if they're not at the right angle and you force it. So just go slow, be patient. It could be a pain in the butt if you're not used to it, but you will be able to get those on. Your fan is located up top near the red arrow. The heatsink goes from the fan and the vent down to the CPU area, held down by 4 screws near the green arrows. Now, I'm not sure why you guys are here. If you're here just to replace a broken fan, you would unscrew it from these 3 screws, and then you would unplug it from the motherboard here near the blue arrow. Be very careful with those wires. They're very fragile. If you pull them the wrong way or too hard, you could damage them, or you could pull them right out of the plug. So be very careful when unplugging that. Try just to grab the plug if at all possible instead of the wires. If you're here to clean out your computer or address some sort of overheating issue, after you get your fan out, you'll be able to blow it out, clean it out really well. You probably also want to come in here and reapply thermal paste. If you guys would like help with that operation, I will have a video tutorial link above in the video, also below in the description, and it will be a tutorial showing you how to fix an overheating laptop. It'll show you how to take apart your fan and clean it out really well. It'll also show you how to clean off all the old thermal paste first. You don't want to put new paste on top of old paste. And then it will show you how to put the right amount of thermal paste down. If you put too little thermal paste down, obviously it won't do its job. If you put too much thermal paste down, it could end up locking heat in rather than getting it out of your computer. So again, that video tutorial will be above and below in the description. Another shout out about that thermal paste: not all thermal pastes are created equal. Generally speaking, the cheaper stuff will work, but the more expensive stuff will do a better job. I will try to have 2 different thermal paste options for you below in the description in that list, with all of the tools and supplies and replacement parts, in addition to having a fan replacement in that list as well. As far as the other parts of your computer, down here through this hinge assembly, you see this large cable coming and plugging in here. That's your LCD cable. One thing to shout out about these ribbon cable connectors, you have another one here. Your keyboard ribbon cable is here. Touchpad is here. These are very fragile, very dangerous to break them. The way to operate these is to take a small, very, very flat pry tool, slide it from this direction underneath this black clip, and gently pop that clip up. It will open like a book cover from this side, and the top side here, you'll see the hinges. If you do break that clip, you're probably not going to be able to find a replacement, which means that your ribbon cable may never really secure in there well again. So just be very careful when operating those. When I do, and I take the ribbon cable out, I put it back down so it doesn't get caught on anything, because I really, really don't want to break those black clips. But that's the video. That's a majority of the internal components and some that you can upgrade. If you have any questions, check out the FAQs below in the description. It could save you some time getting an answer. If you do need to leave me a question or comment, please do. I do try to get to those a couple times a day at least. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on my next video.